My name is Tom Hayes, Director of Customer and Community Relations for New Jersey Natural Gas, and your host for Community Connections here at SCAN. We're happy to have you with us here today. I'm also happy to let you know that we have Steve Heisman, who is the Executive Director of HABcore, which is a wonderful organization here in the Monmouth County area. And Steve, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, pleasure. So tell me, how long have you been with HABcore?
16 years now.
16 years, okay. Doing a great job.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
And give us a little bit of an idea of what you actually do at HABcore, what HABcore is about.
Well, we provide affordable, supportive housing for homeless families, veterans, individuals with special needs in Monmouth and Ocean County.
Wow. Now, I'm sure that after Sandy, there's probably been an uptick in some of the need out there to some degree. Have you noticed a lot of that within your organization?
Absolutely. We have a waiting list which just reached about 700 long.
Wow. So there's 700 individuals or families that are on your waiting list to try to get housing.
That's correct.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, do you have your own facilities, or do you actually have facilities that you rent at other locations, or is it a combination?
It's a combination. We do it in a couple different fashions. One is our boarding homes. We have one in Red Bank that serves 21 and one in Asbury Park that serves 30.
Wow.
And our boarding homes are unique when compared to traditional boarding homes in that we provide more structure and supervision. Okay. We have 24-hour-day awake staff, provide them with healthy meals and snacks, medication supervision, but we also try to teach them skills. We try to teach them job acquisition skills, resume preparation, help them fill out job applications, role-play job interviews. We help teach them the skills that it takes to get out on their own in their own place, because that's the ultimate goal, is for everybody to reach their individual level of independence. We have an all-volunteer committee. It's called our Residential Life Committee, and they focus on life enrichment skills. So some of it's educational, teaching them finances, computer skills, classes like creative writer or art classes. And some is recreational, going to a ball game or a play or the beach or something like that.
That's an important part of life too, right? And have a little fun every now and then.
Yes, absolutely.
So do you have like is there a timeline that you have your folks in, say, the boarding houses? Do you have an expectation? Are they in for a year, 2, 3 years, or is it just all over the map depending on the individual?
Well, for just about all of the beds, we consider it permanent housing. Okay. So they can stay as long as they like. We have a young lady who came with the building when we bought it 26 years ago. And then some, they only need it, as a stepping stone, maybe 6 months or so. Maybe sometimes they'll need a push to get back out in the big bad world. But everybody's individualized, and they can certainly stay as long as they need to.
Right. Okay. And the locations, again, they kind of vary? They're all over the county?
The two larger homes are Red Bank and Asbury Park. We also have our independent living program, and this is done in a couple different ways also. We have the properties that we own. We have Red Bank, Keensburg, Beechwood down in Ocean County. Okay. And then there's also a HUD program, which is a rent subsidy program. Okay. And these are rented to homeless families and individuals who meet HUD's criteria of homelessness and being disabled. Right. And that is scattered all over Monmouth County, from Spring Lake Heights up to Keyport, Matawan.
Wow, it's really pretty far-reaching.
Yes.
And I didn't realize you have a facility in Ocean County.
Yes, we have a few units in Beechwood.
Okay.
We have a two-family house, and we actually are just completing an expansion program where we're going to have 8 units, 3 for families and 5 studios for individuals, and a laundry facility.
Oh, amazing. That's great. Really growing by leaps and bounds, huh?
It's been fun.
Yeah, I'll bet. So that comes to the next question of, like, how many folks do you actually assist throughout the year, roughly? How many clients?
It's about 150.
150, okay, yes. That's wow. So, and again, these new facilities will obviously grow that number.
Yes.
Sounds like, right?
Yes, definitely.
Wow.
We added just about another 50, added about 50 units in the last year and a half, and we have some expansion programs on the horizon that are going to increase it even more.
Now, I know you do good work on a regular basis and all that, but how do you get, like, kind of the feedback, or how do you know whether or not you're doing a good job for your clients? What do you hear out there?
Well, one way is we do conduct surveys. We have satisfaction surveys for our landlords, so we give them to the community landlords, make sure that they are happy with our program and that they would recommend us to other landlords. We give them to all our residents to make sure that they're happy with the services that they're receiving, and the home-like, the home-like qualities of the facility. And then we also believe in measurable objectives. So, I mean, from a business standpoint, we're proud of the fact that we save taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that it costs in the state hospital system to house somebody over $100,000. And for HABcore, it only costs approximately $12,000.
Right, I'd seen that, and I thought that's pretty impressive. If what we're trying to do here is really educate our viewers as to what all these different programs and organizations do. In your case, that's pretty telling to say that, as taxpayers, if you're going to spend the money and you can get somebody really the assistance they need for $12,000 in your program as opposed to $100,000 through different services, it's really a benefit to all of us. And it sounds like the actual clients do very well as well going through your program.
Yes, we also have measurable objectives when it comes to client stability. So like one of the things we're proud of is that in our independent living program, the average length of stay is just under 7 years, and the program is only 10 years old. As far as the boarding home goes, about 77% of our departing residents either move to an independent setting or family reunification.
Okay, so like you say, family reunification, maybe a situation where the individual was estranged from their family for issues that they've been dealing with or whatever might have happened, and at the end of this, in their sense, they get to go back to that family for whatever reason, whatever issues might have been there to keep them apart from their family in the past.
That is correct, because we also do limited behavior modification. When somebody comes to us with special needs, we don't expect that they're going to, flip on a switch and be perfect when they walk in the door.
Right.
So rather than just evict them or tell them they're not working out, we work with the individual and try to induce progress. And then, eventually the family will see that progress, and they'll see that they're able to come back home.
Right, which is great. That's amazing. Now, if folks out there want to help, I assume you have like volunteers that help with your organization?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and then you also do, I'm assuming, events. I know you do some events throughout the year to raise funds and all that sort of thing, right? So.
Yes. From a fundraising standpoint, I mean, that's very important to us, as I'm sure it is for all nonprofits.
Right.
Because, as I said, it costs about $12,000 to house a resident at HABcore. They can only afford to generally pay about $6,000 in rent, which means for every resident, we're trying to make up a gap of about $6,000.
Wow.
Multiply that by 150, and that's a lot. So we do have events over the course of the year. We have various appeals and make requests to foundations and churches, that sort of thing.
Right.
From a volunteer standpoint, we have committees that they can join. I mentioned the Residential Life Committee. We have other committees. We have our Finance Committee. We have a Property Management Committee that oversees the facilities.
Right.
They can come in and prepare a meal. We have families that come in and prepare a meal, and we have organizations like the Girl Scouts or a school class that will come in and do that.
That's excellent.
Individuals can do, there might be somebody out there who's a web designer, and they, if they want to come and help us, improve our website, that's something they can do. Or if they are like, I do that all day long every day, I don't really want to do that, I just like to paint, then they can do that too.
Sure. That's great. So if folks wanted to donate or wanted to find out how they can volunteer, is there some contact information? Do you have a phone number and website that you can provide?
Absolutely. Our phone number is 732-544-1975, and the website is www.habcore.org.
Okay, and how about an address?
It's P.O. Box 2361, Red Bank, New Jersey, 07701.
Great. That's good. I mean, it's good for folks to know how to really get a hold of, your organization to really help out. And, the great thing about a program like this is, in addition to when it's shown on the cable stations, it's also shown on our YouTube site, and you can use it where you need to. And again, people get a better understanding of what it is that you do and the way you help folks would hopefully get more folks to be, interested in volunteering and certainly donating to such a good cause. Because as you said, it seems like it's a tenth of the cost to have clients elsewhere other than going through the HABcore process, which is pretty impressive, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. And just when you talked about volunteers, you said folks coming in for doing meals and things like that. Do you often reach out to like business groups or Rotaries or any of those types of groups to have them come in and help and do things as well? So
Absolutely.
It's
We
good.
apply to the local Rotaries, church organizations,
yeah,
very many.
That's good. And I know you were recently on a panel for a Monmouth Ocean Development Council event, and that's obviously a big business organization in the area. So it was nice to see you involved there and get some additional exposure for the organization there too. I think that was a good move. It's it's important, and you have a lot of feedback to give to folks like us in the community. So I commend you on that as well.
Thank you.
Now, what do you see as like the future for HABcore?
Well, we're always looking to expand to meet the need. I mean, there's a big homeless issue, and even though it's not always necessarily seen in traditional fashions, with people, at the train station or underneath the boardwalk, they're still out there, whether it's a tent in the woods or they're
Right.
hopping around from couch to couch. So we're always looking to expand to meet that need. So we have a project down in Ocean County that I had mentioned that we're looking to add another 8 units.
Right.
We have a collaboration with the Affordable Housing Alliance where we're looking to
Another
acquire
good
some
group.
units in their Pine Tree development.
Okay.
And we also have been awarded the use of a building of about 20 units or so at Fort Monmouth when that transition occurs.
Excellent. So you'll be able to get in there eventually, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh wow, that's great. That's really important, because I would imagine, and I know over the years, it's always difficult to place housing in the community when it's considered homeless or some sort of shelter, whatever it might be, because most people feel afraid of that in their community. And you talked before a little bit about doing surveys, like with your landlords and all that. The landlords, I'm assuming, for you to have that ongoing relationship, you have to make sure your facilities are managed properly and that the folks are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I'm assuming you get a good response from your surveys from your landlords?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's very important to us to to maintain that relationship, not only with them, or just to be seen as an asset to the community.
Right.
So we make sure that the properties are being maintained, that the residents are doing what they're supposed to do. There's a lot of expectations to being in our program. It's not just hand in the keys and see you later.
Right. It's a lot riding on that reputation and how well you cooperate with your neighbors and all that sort of thing. So that's important, and I kudos to you and your organization for making sure that continues to be that way, because I think what we learn over time as folks just living out there in the community is that these types of facilities can coexist with everyone else around them, and it's nice to be in a community where you're actually helping others. So I think it's almost like positive to have one of your facilities in somebody's neighborhood, right? Because you're commingling and showing that people can survive and get along together, which
Yes.
is important, and that's a lot what a lot of these folks need, to be in an environment that's good and safe like that. So I want to really thank you for your time, for being here with us today, and again, you've opened up the doors and our eyes to what HABcore does. So really, Steve, I just want to thank you again for being here and for all you do in the community with HABcore.
No, thanks so much for having me.
Pleasure. And we'll be back after this commercial to continue the program, so please stay tuned. Thank you.
Now's a great time to make your home more energy efficient, and the New Jersey Natural Gas Save Green project is here to help. Take advantage of rebates and incentives up to $15,000, designed to make your whole house more comfortable, improve performance, and save you money. Upgrade your older, inefficient heating equipment, central air conditioning system, and water heater with money-saving, high-efficiency equipment. But don't stop there. Your new equipment will have to work harder, wasting energy dollars if your home is not properly weatherized, by reducing air and duct leaks and installing proper insulation. Call the Save Green Project at 877-455-NJNG or visit SaveGreenProject.com, and we'll help you get on the road to maximum energy efficiency and savings, and explain how you may qualify for up to $15,000 in rebates and incentives. Call Save Green at 877-455-NJNG.
Hello and welcome back to Community Connections. I'm Tom Hayes, Director of Customer and Community Relations for New Jersey Natural Gas, and we appreciate your being back for the second half of the program. I'm very happy to have Brian Fitzgerald, who's President and CEO of Easter Seals New Jersey, with us here today. And Brian, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's always great to learn about all the wonderful organizations out there and the different folks that head them and do all the good work that you do in their communities. So give me an idea, or give our listeners and viewers an idea of what the Easter Seals New Jersey is all about and what you do and all that.
Easter Seals New Jersey was established in January 1948 as a result of a study by the American Academy of Pediatrics that determined that New Jersey was last in providing community services to children. The National Easter Seals organization, of which we're a part of, gave a grant of $123,000 to begin Easter Seals. And so that was the beginning. And it was based on, Easter Seals operated on the philosophy of its founder, Edgar Allan, who believed that services should be done within the community and backed by voluntary organizations, so that a decentralized service delivery system. His personal story was that he lost a son to an accident in Elyria, Ohio, and as a result of that, he sold his business and built a hospital because there wasn't a major hospital when this accident occurred. There were 17 people killed and 68 injured, one of them being his son. And that was a life moment for him. He decided that he was going to devote his life to philanthropy rather than building a business and just his family. And he came across a young child who had a disability. And he talked to the hospital, and the ward was empty. And he couldn't figure out why the ward was empty. So he hired a social worker who went out and surveyed the county in Ohio and discovered that there were 272 children with disabilities within that community. But the families didn't want them to be separated from, didn't want the children in the hospital separated from them. So he came up with the idea to bring services to each of the local communities, and he partnered with Rotary in Ohio, and that was the beginning of National Easter Seals. And we are one of the youngest ones, and by 1948 there were already 47 affiliates throughout the country.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. It's amazing, and working through the Rotary groups and all that, another long-standing organization that does great stuff. So tell me, what's the current environment in our area, New Jersey, and in Monmouth and Ocean counties in particular, for folks with disabilities, children with disabilities?
I think the environment for those folks right now is a certain degree of uncertainty. The state is going through a change in its funding model from a cost reimbursement to a fee-for-service.
Right.
And the fee-for-service is going to pass to the individual family, working through probably a physical intermediary, and Medicaid is going to become the primary criteria. So people are just a little unsure of what's going to happen in terms of the way that we're getting services today. Will they still get it tomorrow in the same fashion? So I think that's a lot of the issues that are facing families right now. And for those families that are not Medicaid eligible, although the state is committed to serving those, it's not clear where the funding's going to come for those folks. So there's a lot of uncertainty out there right now.
That is tricky. I know it's tricky for organizations. I happen to be involved with a number of organizations that deal with folks with disabilities, and it's a constant concern. And you know, it's unsettling because a lot of these organizations depend on this funding. And if you rock it for a while, even if it's off for 6 months, it really throws people's budgets out of whack. And it's tough to recoup. Sometimes you can't recoup at all. And you know, nobody wants to hear it in a sense. You know, you just sort of have to, you know, sorry, you have to deal with it. And it's tricky. So I do feel your pain on that. And I know it's an issue. So how does Easter Seals really help like the folks in New Jersey? What types of programs do you provide in New Jersey? We
provide services for statewide for 8,000 individuals. In Monmouth and Ocean County, we're serving 1,500 individuals. We provide primarily residential services to the seriously mentally ill and adult day services to the developmentally disabled. And we're also the physical intermediary for people with disabilities. And that program is pretty much where the individual family gets a budget for their child that needs services, and they determine how it's to be spent within a budget that they've established with a caseworker. And we make sure those bills get paid, and we're also the employer record for those families.
Right, okay. And when you're trying to meet their needs and get involved with these folks, the program participants in particular, are most of their needs met through the programs that you support?
We provide, in terms of the residential, we provide the place to live for those individuals. We provide for the food. They have a budget. We link them up with all the community health services that they need. I just was at a meeting yesterday, and a woman came up and talked to me about, she was in one of our group residences, and she said to me that she liked being there. She felt a sense of family, that she felt secure, that before that she was unsure. She was in a state hospital. So now she's back into the community. She feels connected. She feels supported. And for her, that's what Easter Seals is all about. Our mission is to enrich the lives of people with disabilities and those that care about them, so they can live, learn, work, and play in their community. And she was a good example of that.
That's great. That's important. And I know the organization, you said, was started in the 40s.
1948.
Okay. So you're a little over a 65-year-old organization now, I guess, huh?
Yes.
And, okay. Now, and I know this is a little off beaten track, but how did the Easter Seals get its name? Or
interestingly, originally it was known as the Society for the Prevention and Service to Crippled Children.
Okay.
And in the 1950s, they did a fundraising event. Actually, there was Christmas seals done by another organization where they made up these stamps and distributed them. So since Christmas was taken, the national organization thought, well, let's do Easter. And what they did was have different pictures made up as stamp, like a regular postage stamp. And they used to do a national mailing. And the campaign did so well that the organization changed its name from the Prevention of Serving Crippled Children to Easter Seals. It used to be the Society for Easter Seals. And then they shortened it to Easter Seals. And so a fundraising event became the basis for the name. Our challenge is people hear Easter Seals, but it doesn't tell them, the public, what we do. And we're always struggling with how to get our name out and what we do for services. So this has been a great opportunity for us.
Yeah, which is great, because it is, you're right, it's a name that many of us have known forever. But like you said, if you're new or didn't ever really understand what the organization did, the name doesn't help you with that.
Right.
That's interesting.
We use Rutgers Marketing, their business school, and they did a study for us, and what they showed was everyone recognizes the name, but most people didn't know what we do. So that's one of our challenges.
Yep. It's always nice to have challenges.
Yes.
So it's been 65 years. So what do you see as really the changes over those 65 years?
I think the changes I've seen for us has been, we have shifted from serving children to serving more adults and seniors as a population, and from physically disabled individuals to seriously mentally ill and developmental disabilities as the two primary populations. The other is a growing emergence of government in terms of social services. When we first started out, almost all of it was charitable dollars. Today, government, in terms of social service programs, which I think is a good thing, is now more of a funder than charity is. The problem is government, by definition, gives less than what it actually costs. So the charitable dollar is still very important, and the donor is major to us. Just last week, I was at Century 21 Action Plus, and they raised $22,000 for us. So we're always glad to have those kinds of support and services. It balances out a budget.
I'll bet that is important. Now, what would you like to see to happen in the community, or what is your call to action as you go forward?
What we'd like to see from the community is greater inclusion of people with disabilities. We feel that people with disabilities need to be in the community. It's a better quality of life, and that the more that they're integrated into the community, it's better for them, but also helps the community because it's a lower cost. If people with disabilities can use the same services and supports that the general population uses, then you don't need special dollars for a separate system. And so we think that's why it's good to have people involved. And we ask the community just to think about, when businesses are going to employ people, think of someone with a disability and contact the local Division of Vocational Rehabilitation in Monmouth County. Or if they're going to outsource work, There are 2 vocational programs in this area that could use that work that people with disabilities would benefit from. And even in terms of, I think the biggest need is recreation and socialization, activities where they can be included. So
Right.
those are, I think, if the community could stand up and reach to do that. And Monmouth County and Ocean County do a good job at it, but there's always need for more.
Sure, that's important. And as you say, you know, to have folks with disabilities integrated into the community just does do all those things, right? It really,
Yes.
and it gets folks that aren't necessarily familiar, may not have somebody in their immediate family or a friend's circle that has a disability, but when you have folks in your community, you understand it better, and you have a, you know, you're
Yes.
a little more aware of what's going on, and can be helpful.
Right.
And it's
Well,
just
they-
mainstreaming folks to make sure that they're involved and realize that they're a solid part of the community.
What they'll learn is people with disabilities have the same dreams, aspirations,
Yep.
and hopes that everyone else has.
Absolutely.
And that's really all they want, that opportunity to be able to achieve that.
Right. That's great. Now, how about technology? How has technology helped you in your efforts? You know, as you
Well,
progress?
technology is really changing the delivery system. What we see in terms of for organizations to survive, nonprofit, and particularly those dealing with government funding, is that they need to have technology in their operation. So that's a major change. So now everything needs to be automated and linked to government funding sources. The other is in terms of delivery of services. Right now, the major caregiver is a person, it's a female, 21 to 56.
Okay.
And it's a demographic fact that there are not enough caregivers, that the number of caregivers that exist are not enough to take care of the people that need services, particularly as the baby boom generation ages.
Right.
So the application of technology to augment the skills of professionals and informal staff to provide those services, as well as growing the ability of people with disabilities to self-manage their care. There's a big push in health today that people self-manage chronic conditions. Well, a
Right.
disability is a chronic condition. And if we can expand the capability of those people to help themselves, then you stretch the resources as well as the workforce.
That's great. You know, you talk about folks, you know, wanting to know more about the work that you do and all that. If you do have a lot of volunteers, it sounds like, that help your organization, and certainly you do fundraising events, I'm sure. I know you do the walk and
Yes.
some other things. So what types of events do you run?
The walk is our major event.
Okay.
It's done in the spring. We do it at MetLife Stadium.
Nice.
And this year we've applied to the Guinness Book of World Records. So we hope to have the longest high five recorded in the Guinness Book of World Record. Right now it's 1,400 individuals, and we're shooting for 2,000. So at the walk in MetLife Stadium in the spring, we're asking people to come out and join that so that we could enter the Guinness Book of World Records.
That's great. So that leads me to my next question. So if folks want to get a hold of you to make a contribution or to sign up, what's your phone number, website, address?
Okay. Our telephone number is 732-257-6662, and our website is www.eastersealsnj.org.
Okay, and address?
Our address is 25 Kennedy Boulevard, Suite 600, East Brunswick, New Jersey, 08816.
Great. Well, I thank you for your time and for being here and telling our folks all about what the wonderful things that Easter Seals does.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you for watching.